In this wood story, I'm going to show you how to build this sign in order to get instant curb appeal. For this project, I'll be using 3 2x4s that are 8 feet long, and I'll be using pressure-treated wood. I'm going to cut these boards down to the following measurements, as you can see here on the screen. I'll also be using 4 1x6 cedar boards that are 5 feet long, and these I'm going to be cutting into 8 pieces exactly in the middle. I took the 8 cedar boards and used a correct jig to make 2 pocket holes at each end of each board. These will be used to attach the inside boards to the frame later on. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Your support means a lot, and it means that I can continue to bring you fun and easy do-it-yourself projects. Before starting any assembly, I painted the outside frame with some leftover paint I had from my garden planter project. You can check out that video right here. I also took the time to coat the cedar boards with first a wood conditioner to bring out the beautiful cedar color. And then later on, when that had dried fully overnight, I gave the boards 2 coats of Minwax spar urethane. Even though cedar is known to be a great wood to be used outside, by giving it an extra layer of protection, it will mean that it will keep its cedar yellow color much longer versus the silver look that's very common for cedar. It's totally a preference, so you do whatever you prefer. The next day, the boards were ready for assembly. I pre-screwed in the screws to the pocket holes, but that turned out to be a big waste of my time because I unfortunately decided to use the wrong screws. So I had to swap them for actual correct screws later on. But of course, if you use the right screws to begin with, I would still recommend taking this step. I added a V-cut using my bandsaw on each end of the side pieces of the frame. This will make it a lot easier when it's time to hammer the sign into the ground. With all the pieces painted, sealed, dried, and the holes pre-drilled, it was time for assembly. The cedar boards needs to go exactly in the middle of the frame pieces. We just used a scrap piece of wood as a spacer, and that made assembly very quick. I also used about 8 cards from a deck of cards as spacers between each cedar board. The last piece to go on was the top frame piece. I recommend using at least 3-inch screws and pre-drilling these to avoid splitting the wood. To install the sign, I dug 2 holes that were 2 feet deep. You want the non-painted part of the sign to go fully into the ground. You may also want to use some gravel around the base, as this will help with drainage and keep the dirt away from the wood, which will make it last a lot longer. To finish the sign off, I used my laser and printed the house numbers and some cool graphics to go along with the sign. You could also cut these with a jigsaw or a scroll saw. These images were also painted and coated with spar urethane, and I glued them onto the sign using outdoor glue. And there you have it, a beautiful sign to display your house number and give you instant curb appeal. Let me know down in the comments what images you would choose for your custom house sign. And for more great do-it-yourself projects to beautify your home, check out this video. I'll see you soon in the next wood story.